Hi you guys, so today I'm going to be refinishing this coffee table. I needed a new one for my living room because our last one did not hold up, and I found this one at my local thrift store for $15. It had a bunch of scratches and watermarks. There's a cup circle right there in the middle. Had some scratches on it, so I knew I wanted to refinish this. I didn't want to paint it. I wanted it to be a dark wood color because the rugs and everything we have in our house are cream colored, so needed a dark accent, so that is what I decided to do, was stain it. So I decided to just use a sanding method. You literally just sand everything off of it until it goes back to its natural wood color. I didn't have any stain remover or paint remover or anything like that, and that's the reason I didn't do the other method. This does take way longer than if you had a remover. This probably took me about 5 or 6 hours to sand everything off, but in the end, totally worth it. This was about an hour after starting to sand. The edges were just starting to get the stain off of them, and I'd have to keep stopping and take the stain off of the sander that I was using. So I ended up borrowing my grandpa's sander because his worked a little better than mine. But I was very happy when the entire top was done. It looked really cool, and I also realized that the edges and the top were two different kinds of wood, so the stain was going to come out different on those two pieces, so I ended up mixing a stain, which you'll see here in a bit. Thank you, Grandpa, for letting me use your sander because yours works way better than mine. So these are the two finishes I ended up using. I put the small container on there first, and then I put the English chestnut on top of it after it had dried. And then I also bought this lacquer just to make it have a nice finish when I was done. One of my favorite things to watch when people do woodworking videos is to watch people stain wood. It's just so satisfying to me, so I left this little clip in here so you guys can see that, because I think it's the best. This is the table with both stains on it. I didn't end up sanding that bottom middle piece just because it was going to be covered by things anyways. But this is that both colors on there. And then I did end up using that lacquer. I did 2 coats of it, and it took the entire can just to make it the finish that I wanted on the table. You would probably want to buy another can and do 3 coats, but I did not have the ability to go do that, so. Technically, you're supposed to let your stain dry overnight before you put your lacquer on, so that way it doesn't absorb so much lacquer and stain together, and it gives it a smoother finish. But I was impatient and waited about 15 minutes after I stained it and then put the new lacquer on. And then this is the table in my living room, which is very messy, so ignore that part. But it gives you an idea of what I was wanting, and I also built those shelves in the corner and stained them the same color. so it just tied everything together. So thanks so much for watching, you guys. Be sure to subscribe and like for more videos.